Recording now. All right, guys, what's going on? It is Results Driven by RW. I'm RW. I'm excited that you're here on tonight. I've got some good stuff I want to share with you, hopefully to kick you up to the next level. Like I said, we're coming real hard and heavy into the second quarter. I want to kick you into gear to make sure you are making this second quarter your best quarter. If I believe if you make every quarter better, that means by the end of the year, you end up with a wonderful, amazing year. So I don't know about you, but I've kicked some things up a notch. I'm excited. I've hired some new people and picked up some definitely some much needed rest time on the calendar too. So things are coming together. I definitely want you to tap in and see what we are doing. So on tonight, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. And of course, first thing I want you to do is take some notes if you can. If you're in a spot that you can take some notes, do so. If not, stop, drop, and get somewhere you can. I know we get some folk ear hustling in the background. That's okay. I'm glad you on too. Stay tuned, hang out with us. Hopefully you get some nuggets and you can drop in and let us know what you're thinking. Camera on is possible. I know some of you guys are running around with the kids and all kind of carrying ons. So no worries if you can't get on the camera, but I love to see your smiling face because it just gives me more energy to help you a little bit better. Also, I want you to ask questions or make comments in the chat. Matter of fact, if you can do me a favor, go ahead and open up my chat. Give me your name and your business and a way to contact you. I heard somebody ask me today, what's your social media handle? I'm like, what's my social media handle? I said, hold on one second. Let me text my social media person. Find out what it is. But definitely, guys, tap on in, get your information in the Zoom. People that are watching it later also have access to it, and some of our other members that are not currently with us but will be with us and are watching in other social media outlets. That way they can get your information and use you as they see fit. All right. Also too, only unmute and called upon. I will do a little monologue and then we're going to jump into some dialogue. I do want to make sure, and the reason the dialogue is important for me is because that way we can make sure and confirm that you got something before you left on today, because I believe your time is valuable. And when I take some of it, I want to make sure I give you something in return. All right. Next thing is this week's wins. Real quick, I want to hear some exciting news that many of you have. And I know you did some great things in this last week. I'll start with Angie since she's all up in the screens. What's going on? Give me something. Tell me something good, as the old folks say.
Okay, well, I've been trying to kick off my second quarter much better than my first. So I'm happy that I'm working on a large order of teas. I'm actually doing vending event this Sunday at Mountain West Eatery. So if you're free, come on by. It's on East Tropicana between 11 and 3. And then I also booked up something for next month in May. So I am trying to do way better than what I did in the last quarter. So that is my win.
Beautiful, beautiful. You know what? I know you were doing some struggles with your health and things like nature. You don't realize that stuff can slow you down, almost bring you to a standpoint, but then you got to kick yourself in the butt and say, let's go, let's get it, let's make some things happen. So I'm just glad to see your face back into place. Excited about you being here and doing some good stuff. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Dominique, give me a good win for this week. What'd you do this week, girl? I needed something good.
I went to a networking event this week, spoke to a couple potential clients, and that's my win this week, that I'm actually getting out there, putting the business out there and exposing myself to different elements and different group of people.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now for you, is that something new or something comfortable, something uncomfortable, or something you're just kind of coming into?
It's new for me. Like, I don't have a problem walking into a room, speaking and all that. I don't have a problem, but I'm usually a more to myself type of person. I like to chill, hang back. But in this new light, I have to really get out there, really talk to people and kind of push my business out there. So it's uncomfortable for me because that's not what I'm usually doing. I'm usually in the background. Now I'm kind of in the face and I'm in the front and I'm in everybody's face now. So
definitely makes a big difference. I know how you feel. It's so funny. I'm still working through those issues because I generally don't like to be around a bunch of people. I know how shocking. I don't. I'm more of an introvert that has to be an extrovert because of the things that I do. But man, you give me a book, you give me a corner and I'm good. You know, I'm so good. I have lunch and by myself. I have a little cozy spot I sneak off to. So definitely kudos to you. Another person that's doing a great job at that too. Great job, Dominique. That's the way to put yourself out there. Robbie, I know Robbie's been doing these videos. Robbie, I'm so proud of you. You've been consistent with your videos. Looks like you're on a daily rotation, daily movement. How's that coming along? Seems like it's coming along well. I'm very excited to see you being consistent in that and putting yourself out there more.
Yes, I mean, I've gotten a little bit used to it, but I still have those same issues because I'm sort of used to being in the background, but lately I've been trying to put myself to the front a little bit, but we're trying to work it out. We're working it out.
Well, good. Well, it's good because you're stretching yourself, and that's something that I had to do too, and still doing. Because
Yes.
ultimately, in order to get where you want to go, if people don't know you, they can't flow you. Okay, if they
Right.
don't know you, they can't flow you. And so I think the a big problem that most people have is obscurity. That people don't know you, or they do know you, but they don't know what you do. And it's crazy because the people that's closest to you, the people that have been hanging around you a long time, and they still like, I didn't know you did that. I was like, man, I'd have slapped you upside your head.
Yeah.
And so it's funny how that works. So yes, definitely making sure we're getting out there. I know Sharia, she's been doing an amazing job. I tell you, her posts are consistent and they're coming through. So good job on that. Seeing how things are going with that. That's good stuff. So good job, you guys, putting yourselves out there. Keep doing it. Keep moving yourself, because what you're doing is moving the needle. And even though you don't think it's working, I promise you it is. I promise you it is. Okay, but the consistency is going to be your biggest weapon when it comes to you striking oil in these days. All right, let's throw out our special offer, guys. Of course, I gotta throw a shout out to your boy, who is a new author, who is selling books left and right. They're like hotcakes throwing off the shelf. So if you guys have not gotten the book, get it. I think just about some of you guys, most of you guys, if you've gotten it, not gotten it, get it. Special price here. Everybody else is paying $29.99. All right, but it's definitely a great opportunity for a lot of people that are starting out or just need to make sure they don't miss any steps. All right. Also, guys, I'll remind you about the wellness retreat coming up this Saturday. So if you're not going to be there, my question is, what are you doing with your life? Come on up, Mount Charleston, take a break. It'll be a good opportunity right before, or well, should I say, we're now ending the first month in the second quarter. So it'll be a great time for you to actually get yourself in a good flow to where now you can kind of get yourself, and this is something I've been dealing with all last month, which was, of course, your wellness. I don't know about you guys, but because of everything that's coming at me, I've been making sure that I've been more intentional when it comes to making sure that I take care of me. So definitely, if you're not doing anything, come on up, be a part. It's going to be such a blessing. If nothing else, it'll be a great opportunity just to get away, breathe some good air, and hang out with some good people. All right. Looking forward to everybody that's showing up to be a part of that. All right, guys. So let's jump into the day. Today, I want to talk real quick about success habits. Now, these are important to me because I think a lot of guys don't realize that success just does not happen. We always sit back and think and wait for it to come to pass, but you got to go get it. You got to make it happen. But also, in working with the people I work with a lot of successful people. And in that, I've noted that there's a few important points that I wanted to jump out at you guys tonight and just kind of make sure you're cognizant and you're aware. You'll find out a lot of stuff that you're going to hear is not going to be maybe brand new. It's going to be something you already know, but just have not applied. Or you maybe know, but have not allowed it to work to make things happen the way you want it to. Okay. Next thing is, guys, first thing I want you to do, is I want you to be outcome focused. That's what I'm finding out with most successful people. They're outcome focused. In other words, they are looking at what is the end game? What are we trying to accomplish? Putting ourselves in position now to be where we want to be. Right now, when it comes to many things, guys, especially money, you got to make sure that you know what kind of money you want to make and start working your way towards that. Also reminding yourself that it's not going to happen overnight, learning how to have a little delayed gratification. In other words, realizing that what you think you're going to do in a year is always always less than what you would do in 3. So make sure that you keep yourself focused on what you're trying to accomplish. Even in these meetings, my goal is always, I want you to leave here with something, and it might just be one little nugget, one little thing I said that shifts you. Because remember, in life, there's not big things that you have to be concerned about. It's those little things that we skip over and we don't take advantage of, okay? So get to the point to where you're outcome focused. Successful people, in other words, they have a start, they have a midpoint, and they have a finish. Make sure you have those things are in alignment with your business. Even though you might not be where you want to be, at least know where you want to be. In other words, know exactly, like right now, I know exactly what I want. And that's important in business because once you have a goal or a target, then it's easier to go towards that goal or target and stay focused. Many of you guys know because I tell you, I read my goals every single day. I do that because once again, I want to make sure even if I get off focused, I get back focused a lot quicker. Okay, so get outcome focused, or as this whole thing is, be results driven. What are the results of your actions that you're doing? Okay, make sure you focus there. A lot of my successful people are focused there. Time focus, number 2, if there would be a number, is I want you to get ruthless when it comes to your time. Many of you are giving away your time, and you're giving away your time to unproductive people. Matter of fact, here's my famous line I hear from a lot of my people, clients, everyone's around me. Can I just get 5 minutes? You know what? I got 50 people that want 5 minutes. If I gave everybody 5 minutes that wanted 5 minutes, I wouldn't even have 5 minutes to myself. And you're going to notice this as you get more and more successful, your time will be more and more expensive. And when I say expensive, meaning that it should cost people something when they talk to you. It should be so to the point to where you have to know exactly how much time you have and willing to spend with someone, especially once you know really what the outcome is. Okay? People that steal your time, your family, your friends, co-workers, be careful because a lot of times you'll allow them time for gossip and talking about nothing when you should be doing something. Also, too, be careful because sometimes we'll be more apt to talk about nothing and take a break, and that break turns from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to an hour. Anybody been on the phone recently with someone for an hour too long? You knew it wasn't going to be nothing, but you stayed on the phone long enough to hear about nothing. Be careful. Be so aggressive. And like I said, I want to use the word ruthless. Be ruthless with the time that you have, realizing that the time you're giving away to people could be spent productively if you have children, with your kids, with your spouse, with other people that should be important to you enough to where they desire and deserve your time. So stop giving away your time. Get really focused to the point to where even when it comes to events, I don't go to every family event. I don't go to every place that somebody invites me to. I generally want to make sure it's going to be profitable. So what events are you going to that are not profitable? I know sometimes we say, well, I'm going out socially and it's going to be, no, it ain't. Because once you get there, if you're drinking, trust me, everything else you were doing just got probably thrown out the window. So make sure, even in your events, I know some of you are doing events which are amazing because you're networking with other business people or people of like-mindedness. That's great. But when it comes to social events, just start asking yourself, is it going to be worth it? Is it going to be worth my time? Of course, fellowship is always good. We don't want to negate that, but I do believe that we want to make sure it's going to be profitable for wherever we're going. Okay. Here's a line that I use a lot when people call me, and this might hopefully be a little tidbit for some of you, is I ask, after I do a little quick small talk, how's everything? How's your family? Everybody's good. Oh, wonderful. So how can I help you? In other words, learn how to get right to the point. Learn how to make other people around you get to the point. You called me because it's almost like a ruthless way of saying, what do you want? Get to what you're getting to. I got stuff to do. And before you know it, you'll start now getting more aggressive and even monitoring who you're talking to, who you're not talking to. I want to challenge you guys. I know some of you got notifications on your phone, you got your ringer on, which of course you want to make sure you keep in touch with people. But I challenge you, go a whole day and actually don't let the phone control you, but you control it. And then also too, I have a screen time saver on my phone that actually tells me how much time was spent on social media and different things. If you don't have that, I recommend you get it. That way now you can start monitoring your time on different things and activities. Because how many know you can get lost in social media? You just want to look at one thing turns to two things turn to 10 things. Before you know it, your intention was, I'm going to do something with my business. Your next thought was, why am I scrolling on stuff that don't make no sense? So be careful, be time focused. That's what a lot of my successful people like yourselves have to be more so. Also, you have to know your non-negotiables. This would be number 3. What are you not open to negotiation on? What is not something that you wouldn't even talk about? What are some things that you have made a decision you're not going to do? You have to ask yourself, what am I not going to do? Not what I'm going to do, but what am I not going to do? What am I going to put up as you can use a word, boundary to say, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Start building those non-negotiables, because that way then you won't be all over the place, because there'll be certain things right away your answer would be no. Last week, Chris said something powerful. I had to post it. He said, no is a complete sentence. I love that, because ultimately when it comes down to it, you got to ask yourself, what are your non-negotiables? You know, some of you might want to put down in the notes, I will not ... I will not ... I will not hang with dumb people. I will not hang with ignorant people. I will not hang with low level people. You got to get to a point to where, yes, you have to now tell yourself some non-negotiables. Ask yourself, what should you be doing versus what you really are doing? Make that thing so to the point to where now you're only after productive work. Stop wasting your time on things that don't deserve your time. Certain things you shouldn't be doing anymore. And not because you can't, but maybe because you shouldn't. Okay? Get to a point, like right now, I got a car wash guy coming over tomorrow morning to wash my car, wash my wife's car. Get to the point to where certain things that you try now to make sure you're making good use of your time. I understand that sometimes we talk about money, but money really is time. Time and money go together. So I look at a task and I look at what it would cost me versus what I could make. And then when I look at it from that perspective, it changes the game on it, okay? So get to that point to where you're there, all right? Also, next thing, there would be another number 4, impulse control. Getting to the point to where you start controlling your impulses. Some of you guys, I love you like a fat kid love cake, but you're struggling from ADHD because your mind is everywhere. Anytime something pops up, you're there. And at some point, you have to get so centered on what you're doing that you stay locked in long enough to get the results that you're after. I know some of us, I'm guilty of this too. I'll be working on what I call multitasking, but I'm truly learning that you can't multitask effectively, but it sounds good. But you have to get to the point to where you don't chase your mind off on multiple things when you should be doing something and completing something that is actually will bring you profit into your business. Learn, successful people I talk to aren't easily distracted. In other words, they could be distracted, but not easily. There's a whole lot that has to happen. You know, even my own mama calls me and she'll say, you got time? Because that means that now I've trained her to know that I am busy. Some of you haven't trained people around you to where now they're training you. In other words, they take advantage of your time because you give it to them. Matter of fact, here's how you can know, is when they send you a text saying, why you ain't call me back? Well, I'm busy, you know, only because sometimes you have to put things in a perspective of, once again, what should I be doing versus what I shouldn't be doing. It all goes back, I guess, in impulse control is discipline. You must be disciplined and know how to stay focused long enough to get results in whatever area that you're in. Another thing I want you to think about when it comes to impulse control is addictions. Be careful that you're not letting addictions bog down your day. I noticed that Starbucks was an addiction. It was something that was bogging down my day because it literally was calling me like Pookie was getting called by the crack. It was getting to the point where I'd be down there every single morning doing Starbucks. And I found out real quick that Starbucks ain't doing me no good. It kept me up late at night, kept me going. Nothing wrong with coffee. But I told myself that I would never, ever, ever, never be addicted to anything. And so once I sensed and saw that it was an addiction, I had to cut it off. You have to ask yourself, how was your impulse control? Do you realize what is dragging you somewhere you don't want to be? What's making you do what you don't want to do or doing things that you shouldn't do? Make sure you get some more impulse control to make sure you're not allowing yourself to get led away or led astray from that, okay? Also want to make sure that you keep flowing and knowing that you are in control. Remember, you control your emotions don't control you. Once you settle that in your spirit, then it'll make you feel and flow a whole lot better, okay? Next one, creators. I want you to learn that you are a creator. In other words, you are someone that you now can be resourceful if you don't have resources. Making sure that you're able to be self-motivated. Some people I'm working with they just need to start. They just need to get to a place to where now they can actually move in the direction that they've been called to. So remind yourself that you are a creator. In other words, when things come to you, it is your job to make it what you need it to be. And sometimes you have to use people to get to your goals that you need. But even in that, learning how to create and make people what you need them to be for when you need them to be and how you need them to be, that they can benefit your purpose, your mission, and your goal. Oftentimes we think that, oh, that's using somebody. No, that's not using someone, especially if they're gifted in an area. Use that area they're gifted in. Stop struggling in the areas that they're not and use them for the areas that they are and can be productive to what you're trying to do. So you are a creator. You create your own destiny. You create where you're going. So make sure you keep that in the back of your mind, because a lot of successful people I talk to, they realize that they are the original. Some of you are the OG in your family. You are the one that's going to set things in order when it comes to your business and your life, and you're the pace setter and the trend setter for where you're trying to go. All right. And my last thing is for successful habits is control the narrative. Make sure you are the one in charge of your story. Stop letting other people tell your story. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but in movies, either you're the main character or you're a sidekick. Some of you are living your life as a sidekick when you should be the main character. You should be the one. You shouldn't be, have you ever seen those movies when it scrolls past that says cop number 1, cab driver number 2? Some of you, you're living your life to where you're cop number 1, cab driver number 2. Start getting to the point now that you're the lead character in whatever area that would be in, because you can actually lead while being led. And I believe that most people don't realize that it's good to have vision with a vision. It doesn't create division if the people are going the same direction. All right. But start controlling the narrative, start controlling your story and the flow of where you're going and what your outcome is going to be. In other words, live your life by design and not by default. Stop allowing other people to dictate, because trust me, if you don't know where you're going, other people will lead you where they're going. Make sure you're headed in the direction that you want to go in. I had to stop someone the other day. I was coaching them and they were asking me, what do you think I should do? I said, well, no, the question is, what do you want to do? Because ultimately, if I tell you what to do and it doesn't work, it's my fault. If you tell me what you want to do and it doesn't work, then it's all on you. So hence, it makes a big difference. And some of you, even when it comes to people, I need you to start thinking in that aspect of don't try to be so controlling that you dictate what people do. Okay? Because trust me, if it doesn't work, guess where they're coming back to? They're going to knock your door down, beat you up, and blame you for what didn't happen because you were the one that told them to do it. So don't do that. Control your own narrative, be the one in control of your life, and watch things work out. These are some success habits that I think that we all need to take under our belt. Let me do a really quick recap. And so number 1 is I want you to be outcome focused. So right now, when you think about your life and there's certain things that you're trying to do, where do you see yourself? What's the finish? Or here's one of my favorite lines is, what is the end game? So real quick, Dominique, what's the end game for you? What's the end game?
For me, my end game is I want to make at least 10K with this business, with virtual admin. And then I plan on going up a step further and doing some real estate investing.
Beautiful, beautiful. So in other words, you're going to take what you're getting from one business to apply it to another business.
Correct.
I like that. That's a good end game, because that means that you're taking the money you're earning and start making it into money that you don't have to work for. So now you're using your earned income to now earn you income. I like that concept. All right, good, good, good. Angie, what's the end game? Thank you so much for sharing, Dominique.
My end game is for the product to be recreated and created without me being present. And it manufactures itself and it just continues to move without me being present. That's my end game. So I have stability and I'm still running it and it's still moving forward.
Beautiful, beautiful. So pretty much you're going to get yourself out of the picture in the aspect of the actual physical making, but you'll still be in the picture in the designing.
In the creating, exactly.
Okay, okay, good. Now, is the creation where your strengths really lie?
Yes, it is. So when you just said, if you are a creator, and that's funny because last week, I just got this idea about 3 different things and I had to create them, and I did create them when we did a photo shoot, and they're just beautiful. They're just awesome. So yes, I am a creator at heart, always first.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, once again, most successful people are, they have to be, because the stuff that you're thinking about is brand new to other people, but not brand new to you, an aspect of you got the thought. And sometimes I'm actually working on a little message called I Might Be Crazy, because a lot of things that we're doing is, for some of us, is brand new to us. And so it led me to believe that, yes, we are creators. In other words, we create things. And we wonder how it was created, but it actually was created in your own mind. And of course, to you from the creator, which is always a good thing. All right, Robbie, what's the end game for you, Robbie? What's the end game? As you're beating up the camera. Uh-oh, we can't hear you. She turning it around. I can see the top of your head.
Okay, listen, you know this phone, I'll be tripping sometimes, but
Mhm.
the end game for me is like, I would like to be able to make income without being present. I would like to get to the point where we can teach classes, bring people in, so I don't have to run the day-to-day. We don't have to do the day-to-day. I have somebody else to do that. I could oversee.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's good, because once again, we got to see the end. We got to see the outcome. We got to see where we're headed to. And then what I need you guys to do is write that somewhere if you haven't already done so. That way, when you do get off course, you'll get back on course. Because trust me, life happens. Trust me, I know life happens. But you got to keep moving in the direction of your end game. So that's good. So now the next one I talked about was time. So tell me, Gloria, who's stealing your time? We figure out this picture thing. I feel like I'm voguing. Uh-oh, she's figuring it out. She's getting it. She's clicking there.
Okay, I get it. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's hard to hit because you're tapping and then it disappears and then you have to bring it back. Okay, anyways. But what's stealing my time? I would say as of late, family, but I know that things have just occurred in the family. We've had death. And so trying to get those things squared away, but I do realize that they are distractions, but knowing that spending that time with them during that time of death is important, but I know I need to get back on course. So it's about making a quick correction after I have that time to sympathize and empathize with them. But then I know I need to get back to business. So, and that's what we were doing today. I was like, okay, I'm here, I'm present, let's go. So, but we did have to take time to invest into, it's important to sometimes invest depending on the situation. Some people are still in it, but some people it's needful, it's necessary.
I like that. I like that definition. It totally makes a lot of sense. And I think this goes kind of into where I talked about controlling the narrative. So when it comes to your time, who makes your schedule, guys? Okay, real quick, type in real quick, guys, in the chat. Let's open my chat up a little bit. Who makes your schedule? Who is the author and the finisher of your schedule? Okay, I don't see nothing. Me, I do. Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page. So when it comes to your time, just remind yourself, somebody else's emergency is not always going to be yours. And sometimes the time that other people need is not convenient for the time that you have. And so you have to make a decision based upon your time on how much time you're going to give people, irregardless of what they're going through. And trust me, as someone that wants to be there for people, I'm learning in life that sometimes the best way you can be there for them is be present when you're with them. So be in a time that you've allotted that you can be there for them. So just a thought, but I do understand, this is important. So make sure, guys, you keep that in the back of your head, because trust me, even though some things come through that are tough, i.e. death, things of that nature, make sure you remind yourself that it's your schedule. Matter of fact, I just had about 3 or 4 calls while I'm sitting here with you guys. And instead of me answering those calls or even thinking about those calls, I'm with you. But it's important that those people recognize that I don't answer all my calls. Okay? Once people recognize you don't answer all your calls, they don't get mad at you. What they do is start respecting the time they get with you more. So think about that for a minute. How many people, if you pulled back some time, would start respecting the time that you do give them? Just a thought, okay? Next thing is non-negotiables. So tell me, Delshana, I know you maybe at your game with your kid, because I know that's how you roll, but I appreciate you being on. Give me a non-negotiable, something that you say, you know what, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I ain't gonna do it.
So, all transparency, I'm working on my non-negotiables. And one of my non-negotiables is that costs. So it's not free. And really just pulling back from the majority, not all, but the majority of people who anticipated free service. So that's it's a non-negotiable that I'm working toward. Nope, I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that.
Wow. Now, why do you think the struggle for you is to do that? Is it because you've actually made yourself more available than you should have, and now you gotta draw that back?
I think because one of my nicknames or monikers is ATM, and so if people need an answer, they call Delshana. She got it, and they all act about me. And so when they're thinking about something, going through something, want to deal with something, want to process something, if I call Delshana, she'll know. And so since I've always been that to so many, it became taxing. It became taxing. And it is taxing. And so I'm still drawing back. I still recognize there's still a little bit going on, but I am drawing back saying, hey, book a call.
Good girl, good girl. I love that. I love that. It makes a big difference. You know, I caught myself, Delshana. Thank you so much for making me an author. Now I'm talking to people, and as I'm talking to them, I'm saying, you know what? I got that in my book. You know what? It's $29.99. Here's my QR code. Go ahead and click on there, and I'm gonna send you a copy of it. And that'll go through that. Then hit me up, and we'll discuss it. It's been working.
Yes.
I've been selling books.
Yes.
so funny. If you guys are on this Zoom and you have not gotten your ebook done yet, I already kicked you in the forehead. Get your ebook done. I guarantee you it will save you time, effort, and money. And now open you up for people who want more of your services that you offer. Okay, my 10 steps have been working for me. I don't know I was working for y'all, but it's working for me. So anyway, with that being said, that's good though, Delshana. I'm glad you're getting to that point of non-negotiables. Sharia, what's one of your non-negotiables? Now, if you would,
Good evening, RW. Don't be clouding me, because you know you be quick to cloud us. Don't you be clouding us, y'all.
I know you're working. I know you're working.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the question, RW. I have two non-negotiables that I live by. One is I do nothing for free. Second, my free service is in my nonprofit work. So if I'm volunteering for you, respect that, because that time is very valuable, you know, so those are my two negotiables. If you want free, you better ask me to volunteer, and it better be a purpose. But if it ain't no purpose or a volunteer, it's not free.
I like that, because it sounds like you've separated the two, which is important. Most people don't. And realizing that there's time and place for everything, but also, you know, making sure people value your time. So I like that. It goes back to time. So that's good. Thank you so much for sharing that non-negotiable. All right, guys. Who else? Let's go to my next one, which is impulse control. Who has impulse control? What are you doing that you shouldn't be doing when you shouldn't be doing it? Everybody's looking around. Okay, cool. All right. Dominique, you're doing a lot of stuff. How are you staying and keeping yourself from going and moving into other areas as you're doing what you need to be doing?
I have a to-do list, and if it's not on my list, I do not do.
Ooh, I like that.
So that's what keeps me focused. If it's on my list, I can do it. If it's not on my list, I can't do it. Maybe I can put it on the list tomorrow, and maybe that could be the focus. But I plan my days the night before. That way, when I wake up, I know the plan, I know what I'm doing, and I know where I'm going. So
beautiful. So that keeps you to where now you can belay a lot of those impulses to do other stuff that you might think needs to be done, but really is not on your list. And I'm the same way. You know, my list is a money list. What's important? What's making me money? What's going to be a good thing to do? And what can get to it later? So I understand. So good. So it keeps you under control. It keeps you disciplined. because if not, you'll get thrown off and moved into other directions. So impulse control, you guys are already successful. So I think that's something that you have and are going to, or in the process of mastering. So keep moving in that direction, but you don't allow yourself to be drawn away from other stuff. Okay. Creators. When I say creators, how does that grab you when I say that, Robbie? What does that mean to you when I say you're a creator? I know y'all working. I got you, but I want to get you. I got it. Get you focused.
When you say I'm a creator, what does that mean to me? When you first said creator, it sort of made me feel like I was in charge in a way. I was, like the leader. You know what I mean? So like everything trickles down. So that's what I felt when you said that. That was my initial feeling.
Okay. Because I think it's important that we realize that a lot of stuff, like even what you're doing with the virtual and your mind on the end game, that to me is something that you created to where now, even though other people might be doing it, but nobody will do it like you're going to do it.
That's right.
Because you are the creator. And so I think that makes it important when we start seeing things that we're creating, even though it might seem like other people are doing it, they can't do it the way you're going to do it. And so make sure you keep yourself focused on you being the creator of your destiny, of your dreams, of the things that you're trying to accomplish, which I believe is really powerful, really impactful and powerful. Great. All right, guys. Next thing I want to do, last one, is control the narrative. When I say control the narrative, what does that mean to you, Miss Delshana? I know you're rolling, but what does that mean to you? Control the narrative.
Controlling the narrative to me means that I am in front of the story. I provide the primary or the preliminary information and answer the questions before they're asked. So there's some foresight involved as well. Controlling the narrative is not being vulnerable with the story and not allowing others to dictate or communicate what I don't want.
Wow, that is good. That is good. There's a book that I don't want to recommend that anyone read. It's called The 48 Laws. I almost want, I don't even want to say it. But anyway, it's a really powerful, impactful book that it made me feel some kind of way as I was reading it. But however, it's one of those things to where if you get to a point to where you realize that you have to be in control, always make sure, if you can, put yourself in a position of control. And here's what control looks like. It doesn't always look like being the main person. I believe that there's a difference between power and influence. Most people are striving for power while others are striving for influence. I'm striving for influence because influence will trump power all day long. Because if you can influence the person that has the power, then really you're in a position of power that's not even known or seen, but it puts you in such a position. Think about this, guys, those that might be a little biblically known or know about some biblical things. Adam and Eve in the garden. Adam had the power, Eve had the influence. Eve influenced Adam to do the things he wants. So some of you, maybe, just maybe, control looks like influence to you and not actually being in charge. That's a heavy statement. Some of you guys are looking at me funny. All right. Gloria, what do you think when I said that just now? Besides, I got to finish this thing here before I get out of this office today. She's like, oh, he's talking to me.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
My question was, what was my question? See, just that quick.
I'm sorry. You got distracted.
My question.
Controlling the narrative.
Controlling the narrative.
What does that look like to you?
What does that look like to you? See, Delshana's on it.
I thank you, Ms. Delshana. Controlling the narrative to me looks like, I guess, establishing it, creating it, and even more than creating it, but making adjustments to it so that as the business grows, as things change, as the economy changes, you have to adjust with it or adjust it to where it's going to be more beneficial for you.
Powerful, 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 powerful. Angie, when I say control the narrative, what does that mean to you? Thank you so much, Laura. That's good stuff. Oh, that book was 48 Laws of Power. But like I said, I don't recommend it. You didn't hear it from me. Angie, what does that mean to you, control the narrative? I know you're fiddling around, trying to take off the mute. You're talking, but we can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it means having someone make decisions for me. So controlling the narrative means no longer letting anyone make decisions for me. So I'm the opposite of not thinking like, oh, I'm in control, but I mean, basically, yeah, I will be in control because I'm no longer letting people make decisions for me. I'm making my own decisions.
Excellent. And that makes a big difference, guys, because once you start controlling the narrative or putting in your mind that you need to be in a position of power, you need to be in a position of authority. But like I said, power looks different. So just make sure you know exactly what side of the fence you need to be on, because I got too many things going on to have power over every situation. But I sure enough like the influence. You know, I have multiple businesses that I don't own or run, but I have influence in. And to me, that makes more sense for me at this point in my life and my career, that I now have to be in control of everything. I'm not trying to be the CEO of my businesses. I'm trying to get other people to be the CEO of my businesses. That way I can do other things I'm looking to do. So this is good, guys. Hopefully this helped you a little bit. I know sometimes these success habits are hard because it's hard to realize that you're going to have to get your mind in the right place as you're going forward. Okay, so this is good stuff. Last thing is ask RW, what are you guys dealing with out there that you have a question about? Is it our contract? Is it a person? Is it a thing? Is it a place? Is it something you're looking to move into? You may be unsure of, and just have a question. Not that I'll have the answer, but hopefully I'll be able to add to maybe your thought that you already have about it. What do you guys have out there today? No pressure. Robbie's fiddling-faddling with the phone. Is that a good thing, or that's just I'm fiddling-faddling with the phone? Oh, she just
Okay, I have a question.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm on the financial part of my growth. I'm working on credit. Is it good for me to pay off or dispute debt?
When it comes to credit, I would recommend that you dispute, but make sure that you dispute it in writing, not dispute it through the computer. Because if you dispute it through the computer, you only have one shot. But if you do it in writing and it's declined or kicked back, you can write another letter for it. Depending on how long it is and how long it's been, what the dispute to me does is it forces them to tell you how much is actually owed. Because sometimes if you look at the three bureaus, remember they'll communicate. So that means that the three bureaus, the numbers could be different, the accounts could be different. And so I've had some stuff happen to where some debt got canceled for me only because the bureaus didn't have their stuff together. And remember, once you submit it, they have 60 days to respond. And if they don't respond in that time frame, then it's automatically removed from your credit. So this is important when you're doing it. And definitely when it comes to your business credit, guys, if you can get your personal credit score up to 650, I mean, there is immediate access to business credit. And there's certain banks like KeyBank is a really good bank. PNC Bank is a really good bank to go and work through. And right now, American Express is giving away credit cards for business. And so if your credit score is a 650 and above, or even if it isn't, try it. I just opened another business, and right away I got $18,000 worth of credit through American Express. So I'm telling you guys, it works. I just did it. So they're giving them away. You know, so right now I think all my businesses have an American Express card. I think the lowest limit is like 10 grand on one of my businesses.
Right. I'm not seeking credit. I'm just seeking buying power, you know, for future. But, you know, it's integrity. Certain things I know I don't have to dispute. I know I owe you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I asked the question. You feel me? You know, do I just pay off, or is this a, you know, technical, or where, either you know you owe them, but you dispute it anyway. And
No, I would say, like you're saying, stay in integrity, but I do challenge because sometimes they tack on additional fees. And when you dispute it, it makes them have to give you a real number.
awesome, thank you so much. And I just had one statement, RW, is how I create my narrative. It's just being honest, whether it's good or bad. Because once a person lie on you, you now allow them to control your narrative. So that's how, I control my narrative.
Good. Thank you for that input. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Good, good, good. All right. Any other questions you guys might have out there that I might be able to answer real quick?
I have a question.
I have a question.
So how do you know if you're, how do I say, on the right track, I guess it is. You know what I mean? Because I know before you said everybody sometimes get off track and you just want to make sure you get yourself back on track. But how do you know like you're on the right track, even if things don't look like what you think they should look like? How do you know that it's still like you still in that line or where you need to be?
That's a very good question. For me, I always look at, am I headed in that direction and am I doing the work? Because sometimes the results is actually you actually doing the work to get to where you're trying to get to. Oftentimes you might not, sometimes we do, but here's an example. I know I'm going to see at least 25 clients a week, be it phone, internet, in person, but out of those 25 clients, I know I'm only going to help maybe 6 to 7. And that's only because it's the numbers. And so if we were to look at that from a results point, it would sound like, well, man, you're seeing all these people. Why aren't you helping this many? Because I know that that's kind of where that direction leads me to. And so I know I'm doing the right things when I'm closing those kind of deals and working like I'm doing that week. Like in your business, like say you know that you have a goal financially which you want to hit. If you're contacting the people that you know you need to contact, but you're not seeing that you're closing every single one, just remember no one generally bats 1,000, I call it. In other words, no one hits every single target every single day, but you got to at least have the target. And if you see yourself moving in the direction of the target and you're staying consistent and true to what you know you should be doing, then I believe you should kind of pat yourself in the back to realize that you are heading in the right direction. It's just a matter of most times just staying the course. That's the hard part. And I think sometimes we can get, and I'll be the first to tell you, that's why, well, hopefully this will help you. I have a 90-day rule. Anything that I'm doing, I give it 90 days to kick in. And the reason I say that is because any change or adjustment or anything you're doing is going to take that time for it really to kick in. And so sometimes we'll expect it to be like this, and sometimes it can be. So I'm not negating that at all, because I do believe success needs speed. But the same token, giving yourself a mental time frame that you're going to give it time to operate. You follow what I'm saying? So it's almost like you're sending out flyers to 50 million people and you haven't gotten any responses right away. It's a matter of just kind of knowing that you sent it out, just like the videos you're doing every day. To me, that's progress. That's now you putting yourself out there more and going towards your goal, because they can't deal with you virtually if they don't see you. So they see you as a virtual person, and now they can use you as a virtual person. But the cool thing is you're actually a person they can see, which is a lot better than being with people that they don't know, that they're trying to work with. So hopefully that helps a little bit. But just keep going. I think the hardest thing is, and you mentioned this today in your video, keep moving forward. In other words, don't allow yourself to get out of pocket or feel some kind of way. And I think this goes back to give yourself some doggone credit. A lot of times in business, we don't give ourselves credit for the good that we do and the times we do stay focused. Now, the times we're all focused, then you got to kick yourself in the butt and get yourself back on course. So I totally believe that we got to give ourselves credit, number one. If we're doing the work, for real doing the work, I'm not talking about doing the work. A lot of people I talk to, I'm working hard. You ain't working hard. But if you are doing the work and you're doing it consistently, then I promise you the results will come. But if you're just sporadic and you're hitting and missing more than you're actually doing the work, then you're going to get what you put out. Yeah. So just hopefully that helps a little bit. But yeah, definitely, I believe that if you know, once again, that end game, and now anytime you get to where you don't see yourself heading towards your end game, then you absolutely can guess that you're off focus. But when you do see that, which is a blessing, maneuver yourself back to where you really want to be.
Okay.
You know, and matter of fact, I can use this as an example. I decided that I wasn't gonna have any more nighttime appointments. And so what I did is I made it a rule for me that I wasn't gonna have any nighttime appointments and I wasn't gonna be going to people's homes.
I know that's right.
And so what has happened is because I stuck to my guns, stayed consistent, I'm seeing the results now. You know, I'm not out running appointments at night and carrying on. I don't do that. But it's something that it took time, because when I said that, you know, a whole lot of people will tell you, I can only see you at night. Well, if you can't see me at night, then we can't meet. I said, well, all right, we can't meet. So I guess it goes back into almost like a non-negotiable, to where as you're moving in the direction you want to, you got to start putting some non-negotiables in place to where now you don't be swayed by people. You know, my only exception to my rule is if the person is old or disabled, then I'll make a decision to do that. But somebody young and able, you can cancel all that. I ain't leaving my office. But once again, that lets me know that I'm heading towards my goal, because I told myself what I was going to do. Once again, guys, I controlled the narrative. The narrative was, I'm not going to people's house. You want to see me, you come see me. So I control the narrative. Okay, so once you do those things and you keep moving in that direction, you'll find yourself heading there. Now, not to say that was easy, because like I said, people give you 50 million reasons why they need to see you and you need to come to their house and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, I get it, but that's not the way I operate. And so in order to stay alignment to where my focus is, there has to be those non-negotiables. So in other words, this success happens, I'm telling you, it works so well, because once you stick to them, then you'll find yourself always heading in the direction that you want to go. And that's the key, what direction you want to go. And even if people around you are maybe doing what they're doing, let them keep doing it, but you keep your head focused on what you're trying to accomplish. But then also, I'm sure you have things that you need to do to get there. Like next week, I'm gonna be dealing with some really heavy stuff on how you guys can pick up some more clients. Okay, that's some really good stuff. I want to show you how to pick up some more clients for next week. Yeah, it's good. Hopefully I answered a little bit. Hopefully I answered a little bit. Good. Any other questions? And I'm gonna let you guys go.
Well, I had a question. My question was actually about how to get the clients, but if we're gonna talk about that next week, I will wait for next week's conversation.
I got some great concepts and hopefully some programs that are free that will be able to show you how to get those clients, because a lot of times the clients you're looking for are not the ones in front of you. You know, most of my clients are not, but then again, I did my business a little different, because my clients weren't family, and I didn't use friends. Because quite frankly, I deal better with strangers. It's kind of funny how that works. But I kind of make sure that I didn't develop my business around, and then also any particular type of people. You know, some of y'all gonna hate me on this, but if I tried to predicate my business on just us, I'd be in trouble. So what I did was I made sure I kept myself broad enough. But that's a good question. Now the one question I'm gonna ask you that I'm gonna have you answer for me next week, Dominique, is who is your client? And then we're gonna even get specific on how to go after that particular client. Because demographics and all that stuff does play a big factor when it comes to depending on the type of client that you want. And even the type of products you offer. Let me throw this out there. Like right now, many of you guys know I have a car insurance agency too. So with my car insurance agency, I made a decision that I didn't want no jackleg, broke down clients. And so all my companies are higher end. I think I have one maybe lightly low-key jackleg, but that's it. You know, and so with that decision though, that allowed me not to get a lot of people, but it also made me get the people I wanted to get, because once again, I control the narrative. So those are important, guys. When you start really controlling your narrative, you're going to lose some people. You ain't going to be able to help everybody. But to me, honestly, you don't want to help everybody. Everybody is not your client, but we'll talk about that definitely on next week on how to go get that. So good question, Don. I appreciate that. Hold on to that. As you define who your client is, write down a list. This is what kind of client I want. Because I
already have my client. I know exactly who I'm going for.
Well, good. We're going to show you how to go get them then. Go get them. Go get them. Right, good. Angie, what you doing? Dancing? The food that good? Angie talking with her hands. She in deep conversation. Angie's the best. All right, guys.
That's why we're gonna throw water balloons at you. Wait, we gonna catch you slipping.
Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. I just want to throw a note out there. That is Robbie's friend. For everybody that don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. Anyway, so you guys have an amazing night. You guys are such a blessing. I appreciate you. Really appreciate you as you're sowing into your future by being a part of the Zoom. Many of you don't understand that some people will not pay to get the information that you're getting right now. And I think a lot of this stuff that I'm giving you is not a lot. All of this stuff I'm giving you, I promise you, it will make you money. Now it's just a matter of adding it to what you're doing and then showing you some ways to take this information now and use it, apply it, and move it forward. Last thought is, if you guys are not doing anything this Saturday, I would love you to come out and hang out with me on the mental wellness retreat, 12:30, I believe, to 3:30. Come up to Mount Charleston, come to the library. Small fee, $29.99, I think it is. And then also he made a big thing for us for RW is bring a friend. And so split it, make them give you $15, you give them $15, and y'all show up and come and be a part. But I do believe it's gonna be a game changer. It's gonna be something that's gonna help you over the hump, because many of you need a mental break. You just haven't taken one, or taken one that was actually impactful. And I believe this is gonna be impactful, all right? But you guys be blessed, have a great evening, be great. And once again, keep doing what you're doing, keep moving forward, and watch these things come to pass that you've been praying for, wishing for, hoping for, because trust me, you are the one in charge. So be in charge of your life, be in charge of your money, be in charge of your finances. That way now you can move forward according to the way that you have destined and you are anointed to go. All right, you guys be blessed. Have a great evening. Be great. Love you guys.